Hello there, this is Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with Betsy.
I'm Betsy.
She's also my wife.
Yes, that's true.
Most days.
Most days.
So, today, we're going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here.
A little tour, if you will.
These next 4 movies we are going to cover are loosely related in that they are considered cult classics.
Yes, they are.
Betsy, we have wanted to do a cult classics series for quite a long time.
Pretty much since we started.
We have a very long list of cult classic movies. It's just recently where we've been able to acquire a good number of them.
That's the trouble with cult classics.
Yeah.
If they truly are cults, they are not always easy to acquire.
Yeah. So in this first round, we are going to start with a little movie by Mike Judge from 2006 called Idiocracy.
Yes, we are.
Now, Betsy, you're familiar with Mike Judge.
He made that one movie.
And that one show.
and that other movie.
show.
Yeah, he made Office Space.
He made Office Space. He is also the creator and voice of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, shit, you didn't know that.
No, I know him from the movies. I know him from that and then Extract, which I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I don't know what that is.
It's another Office type of movie, but it's Jason Bateman he works in an extract factory, like vanilla extract, almond extract.
I've never heard of this.
Really?
No.
It's pretty good. We might have to watch that
anyway,
one. But I did not know he did this one.
Yeah, Mike Judge made this movie. Neither of us have seen this one.
Weirdly, I thought you had. When we started talking about doing this, I was absolutely convinced you had seen this movie.
Nope.
So there you go. This is one neither of us has watched.
So that being said, what do you know about this movie, Idiocracy?
I know that the star of this film is Luke Wilson.
Correct.
And
making his second appearance on this show.
What was his first one? Oh,
Legally
Legally Blonde. That's
Legally
right.
Blonde, yeah.
I forgot. So Luke Wilson is the star. There's some other people who are semi-famous in it. I only just saw Maya Rudolph when I was scrolling through the IMDb page. Mm-hmm. And then another face I recognize, and now I've forgotten who it was. So yeah, there's a few people in this movie that I know. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is this is a satire about a future in which stupid people rule the world or something. Mm-hmm. Something to that effect.
And I think in recent, let's just say weeks and months and years, this movie is like referenced a lot more, more prescient, maybe you would say, to modern times. Yes,
I don't know why this movie happened, like in the movie, why the world is run by stupid people. Yeah. If there is like a disease, if it's all about technology, if it is the
de-evolution of the human race.
Yep. I don't know. Lack of critical thinking. I'm a little concerned it's gonna depress me in some ways because, like you said, it has been more recently referenced and relevant.
Right. And again, I know basically nothing. What you just said is what I know. Luke Wilson is a character who is, I think, put in like a cryo freeze. And when he wakes up, that's what happens.
It's one of those movies.
Yeah. So I don't exactly know any of the scenes from the movie. I don't know, like, how is everybody stupid? In what way?
Yeah.
Are they like common sense kind of stupid? Do they just not know history?
Are they de-evolved where they are genuinely like...
Are they putting the round thing in the square hole?
I don't know.
You know, is it that kind of shit? Or I have no idea about this.
But I have often heard about this movie. Mm-hmm. Since this movie came out, I have many times heard it referenced as a movie that people really enjoy. That it's supposed to be really funny. It's a comedy.
Yeah, it is a comedy. It's a very dark comedy. But I think this is more in the range of like a 50-60% on the Rotten Tomatoes scale.
But I don't really pay attention to that. This is what I've just heard from people.
Sure, and I'm saying it achieves cult classic status when it's not very well received, but then it
do well.
But then it gains a following much, much later.
It gains popularity, and now here we are 16 years later.
Yeah.
And
people
it's
are
relevant.
referencing. I saw it trending on Twitter like 3 days ago.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the very definition of a cult classic. When we were looking up, like, what do we want to watch? What are some ones we weren't immediately thinking of? Because we didn't want to do, like, these really big, like, Rocky Horror type ones.
We're going to save those.
We'll save those for another series. But this was one that came up a lot. And there were a lot of other ones that got mentioned, but one of them was Pulp Fiction. And we were talking about the fact that something like Pulp Fiction may have started as that, but it has transcended cult status.
It got nominated for a fucking Oscar that year.
I think
that's not a cult classic.
I think at this point it has gone above and beyond cult status.
Yeah.
But this one has never really surpassed because it's just been on people's radar.
And it's just one of these movies that, again, like we said before, it's not widely available. Like, this movie we are going to be streaming on Stars, of all things.
It's currently available at the time of this recording.
Right.
On
so
Stars.
This is a very strange thing for us to be doing, but we have access to it, so we're going to utilize it.
Yep.
So, again, I am very, very curious about this one. This is probably the one that I am most curious about of the 4 that we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen any of them. You've seen 2 of these 4.
I've seen 2 of them.
So we're going to get into it here. Idiocracy is the movie. We will be right back. Oh boy, we are back. Betsy, that was Idiocracy.
That was Idiocracy.
Oh boy.
That is not a good movie, in my opinion, but it's also not like a terrible movie. It had moments.
It is endearing.
Yes, I can see how in 2006 this got made, and some of the elements of it have not aged well.
Oh.
But also, like I said, it had moments where it's like, okay, I get what they're going for, and there is a point to it where the whole thing happens because they basically give you this setup where there's like a yuppie white couple, upper middle class, white, wealthy, and they're just like, oh, I don't, it's not the right time to have children in this economy. And then you have the lower class, white trash dude who is sleeping with 3 women and they're all screaming at each other and they're reproducing at an enormous rate. And thus becomes the plot of this movie where that blows up to the point that they're woefully outnumbered and they take over the world.
Yeah.
The smart people stop reproducing.
There's definitely some concepts here that I think are pretty prescient. If I want to use a big word to describe this horseshit movie.
Well, that's just like a real thing that happens in our modern era. As people have become more and more educated, the people who have like a higher degree of learning tend to have fewer children or no children because as years go on.
They get involved with their careers. They want to do more for the world, and they don't believe that having a child, or they might believe that having a child would be a detriment to that work.
Exactly.
Whatever work that happens to be, whether it's, work for making money, which clearly they are depicted here, like you said, as a upper middle class, or even by the end upper class.
They're yuppies. They're literally in the credits labeled as yuppie wife and yuppie husband.
Really? I didn't see that. Wow.
Well, it's Eyebrows, the guy from I don't think he's been in any movies we've watched on this podcast, but he was on
I don't think so.
Mad Men, and he's been in a lot of movies. if you know who I'm talking about from Mad Men, he was a comedian on that show, but I just define him as eyebrows because he's this very distinct looking man.
Yeah, I've seen him in quite a few things, but I can't think of something right off the top of my head.
Mad Men is the first one I think of.
He's the very offensive comedian in Mad Men.
Correct, but he's a yuppie in this one.
Uh-huh.
And so they show this dichotomy of these people who are so overthinking having children, and then these other people who don't think enough about having children.
Right.
And one just sort of outgrows the other in pacing. And this is really a thing that is happening in the world.
Yes.
And not to say that every person in the world who has lots of children is stupid. That is not the point of this.
Nope.
It's just a fact that there are people who are really, really smart who are not reproducing.
It's true.
And there are other people who are.
There's no rule to what we're saying here. Like, Betsy, you are one of 6. I am one of 1.
No, and in my family, I should have so many more nieces and nephews than I do.
Right. You can count one of your siblings amongst the high end. One of them is a doctor.
It's true.
So
she is smarty pants.
She's very smarty pants. So, there's not a hard and fast rule to any of this stuff. But
it's totally okay not to have kids, guys.
I get what they're saying in this movie, and it's true. A part of it is true. A part of it is true. There are people like this who choose not to have children for all of these reasons, and then sometimes they regret it later, sometimes they don't. Some people have a conscious choice not to do it because they can contribute to society in other ways.
Right. And it's not to say that quote-unquote stupid people reproducing always defaults to you have stupid children. That's not really how everything works.
Oh no.
But they use it as a plot device here where they talk about natural selection.
Yeah, right off the bat they are talking about evolution basically going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I said it in the intro, de-evolution.
Yeah. So it's the dumbest of the dumb people having more dumb children, begetting more dumb children, and so on.
And they don't talk about what is the catalyst to make it all start going downhill.
No.
But they're like
they
highly
kind of allude
suggesting
to it.
that the commercialization of things, of society, and just capitalism in general.
And if you think about it, in 2006, this was when we were really getting the dumbing down of television. This was the primo era of reality TV.
Yeah.
And they really hit that hard in this movie.
In the balls.
Yeah, they're like the number 1 movie is simply called Ass.
Ass.
And it's 90 minutes of a bare ass, and it wins 8 Oscars. And the number 1 TV show is Ow My Balls, and it's a guy who just gets hit in the nuts or falls on his nuts over and over. So every time he's out in public, his fans come and say, "Oh man, I love your show," and then kick him in the balls.
And of course, this is during the height of Jackass. Which, not to say anything bad about Jackass, those guys are fucking brilliant.
Oh, I'll say plenty bad about
Those guys
Jackass.
are fucking brilliant when it comes to, like, comedic timing and the things that they're able to come up with. Not so much in the early days.
No, in the first episodes, it was
over time, it has gotten so fucking meta.
It's gotten stupid, but they know it's stupid.
Yes. That's the beauty of Jackass. I will not sit here and hear negative things about Jackass.
Well, then I will refrain from going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to take the bait. But yeah, this is what we were talking about. In 2006, we had reality TV, like the early days of Survivor and Big Brother, and, the Osbournes and
all that stuff.
Families that were just on TV to be on TV.
And if you noticed on the TV that he was watching, they had the TV, they had the show in the middle of the screen, and then all around it, advertisements.
This entire movie is about advertising, specifically Carl's Jr., the number of people.
I've got a list of companies that they refer to here, but yeah, Carl's Jr. being one of the worst ones.
The number of people that have like Carl's Jr. t-shirts and neck tattoos. And they mention it because every time they say it, sponsored by Carl's Jr., they get paid.
Well, and that's very prescient to today because of all the fucking influencers out there hawking all these wares that are being paid to do so, and they don't really come out and say it.
No.
Like, this is my favorite skin cream. This is my, I'm sponsored by this energy powder drink protein shit.
And they're supposed to. They're supposed to say this is an ad, but they never do when they're big time. Like, the little guys do it because they follow the rules. Once you've made enough money and you've hit the plateau, you don't need to follow the rules anymore.
I tend to disagree with that because
it depends who
I'm on the internet more than you.
Okay, it depends who it is. Or you sell your soul. It's one of the other. It's either you neglect to tell people that what you're doing is advertising, or all you do is you're a walking billboard. And this movie, everyone's a walking billboard. The clothing, every fucking person in this movie is head to toe logos. They look like fucking futuristic race car drivers.
Yeah,
because
totally.
That is the society. They are so brainwashed into, I like this.
Right.
I like that.
Just to go over some of the list that I wrote down here, we are introduced to, like basically when he wakes up, he sees a bunch of stuff, and there's a Whataburger like skyscraper building.
I didn't see that.
There's a sign on top of one. When Rita is making a call, it's like the AOL Time Warner US government Taco Bell thing. Yep. There's a Jack in the Box, but it's not spelled right. Jack in the Box.
Everything, anytime there's an American, it's UH. Yep. There's Pepsi in the White House.
Yeah, there's Pepsi. And we already mentioned Carl's Jr. When the woman at the burger kiosk or fries kiosk, whatever it is, when she can't pay,
it doesn't work. The machine malfunctions.
It malfunctions. She gets like an empty box, and she doesn't have any money left. So the machine determines who they are, what their story is. That finds out that she has children. Finds out that now their children are starving because she can't get her food. They determine she is an unfit mother, and their kids are going to be now taken over by Carl's Jr.
Yep, they're now property of
custody
the corporation.
of Carl's Jr. Corporation at all.
Yep, that's right. And then there's like Brando,
yeah.
And it's an energy drink, and like the majority of the country is employed by this energy drink.
Half the country is employed by Brando, and I think Brando is a real thing. I don't know if it's spelled the same, but there at least was a Brando energy drink. Yes.
I didn't know that. It's not one I've seen, so it's probably not a national choice.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like some Gatorade, electrolyte, energy drink.
He says it's like Gatorade.
Yeah. And it's in water fountains. They've replaced water. Right. No one drinks water in the future.
that stuff in the toilet?
They pour it on plants, which is why there's a nationwide drought.
And a dust bowl.
Because
there's no plants growing. Yeah. Man. So, one last thing here. When he goes under...
So yeah, he's in the military, and they decide he's expendable, so they sign him up for this experiment.
So they put him under, and the general, whoever it was, gets busted for something, and they tear down the military building where they're being kept, and over the top of it, they put a Fuddruckers.
Future home of Fuddruckers.
Then they put the Fuddruckers there, and then we get the sequence of everything being changed. Time is passing, and the name of Fuddruckers keeps on changing, eventually becoming Buttfuckers.
Because, of course, the joke everybody calls it Rudfuckers.
Yeah.
It's not that much farther to get to Buttfuckers.
Exactly. It's an easy joke, but it's still funny. But my point to this is, when I was growing up, I did not grow up in this city. I grew up somewhere else in this state. And the school I went to in elementary was the oldest school in the state.
This was like 1800s something.
It was
other.
built probably when the city was founded.
Okay.
So it was very, very old. My mother went to this school in elementary school. Yes.
Yeah.
So a year or two after I left, I was in high school. I went back to my hometown. They had torn down my elementary school and built an Arby's on top of it.
Yep.
And underneath that pavement is a time capsule. A literal time capsule that we put in the ground in like 5th or 6th grade in like 95, 96.
Do you think they excavated it?
Fuck no.
You think they just leveled it and just planted over it?
No, because it was a really stupid thing. It's a bunch of stupid stuff that we put into it.
There is an episode of Parks and Rec. We never got to it when we were watching it, but they're making a city time capsule, and Will Forte has a guest appearance, and he's quite insistent on including the Twilight series of books, specifically the books.
Just the books.
Yeah, and he like chains himself to the desk until like everybody starts reading Twilight.
Now that's some Idiocracy shit.
Oh yeah, it's real dumb. But yeah, everybody is just clad head to toe in like vitamins and weird energy pills, and everything is dirty. What did they say? A garbage avalanche, because nobody knows how to deal with simple things like garbage. So they just keep piling it up. Now, here's one thing I would argue. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is, I should let it go. Really? Do we really truly believe that evolution would happen that quickly in 500 years? So it's 500 years that they're, frozen or asleep or whatever.
Right.
That there would be not any smart people. Like, I was waiting for there to be a group, like the tiny minority that lives in caves on the outskirts of society because they just cannot deal with all the stupid people. I was waiting for it because I feel like 500 years, yes, you would evolve as a society, but would you wipe out the smart people entirely?
Why are there still monkeys, Betsy?
I'm just saying that was one of the things that I kind of wish we had gotten. Like, it wasn't stupid people.
I don't think that's where Mike Judge was trying to get to.
I know.
This movie is less than an hour and a half. It's less than an hour and a half. So I don't think that that's where he was going with this, but I see your point.
Right. I just would argue that in a real world scenario, you would not be devoid completely of semi-intelligence after 500 years. And they make like a passing comment about the only scientists that were left cared more about like hair regrowth.
Right. And boner pills.
And boner pills. Yeah. And so they exist, but
because that's where the money is.
Right. They've also evolved. Like, Justin Long shows up and he's a doctor, so they still have doctors, but they're stupid doctors. And they still have the president, but he is a wrestler and a porn star.
Excuse me, Betsy. A super porn star.
I'm so sorry. Yes, Terry Allen Crews.
Yes.
As
he is not even
labeled.
just Terry Crews. I love Terry Crews.
He's great. And he can just show up and be Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Like, no one cares. Like, I don't need you to do any difficult
just
work.
Bring that energy to everything that you do. Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of him in this role. Like, when he showed up on screen, he's wearing, American flag pants and a giant, like, medallion that's like the presidential seal on a chain.
Everybody has a rope chain like that for their title if they're in the cabinet.
No, I'm sorry. Trent, their title is on the sleeve of their shirt.
I didn't notice it. I thought it was another sponsorship thing.
No, so like Dax Shepard is his lawyer, and he has attorney at law written on his sleeve.
I did not notice that at all.
When he is the secretary, like the Secretary of State, when he shows up, it literally says Secretary of State on his sleeve.
Okay, all right.
And they wear like swanky vests and oversized medallions because that is the uniform
of a cabinet member.
Of the cabinet. And they all won a contest to become cabinet members. You know, as one does. Which is why he's got like a 13-year-old boy on the cabinet.
Right.
So it's a very strange world he finds himself in, and he is paired with Maya Rudolph, who is a prostitute, because they couldn't find a more average woman in the ranks of the military
who would volunteer for such a thing.
Quantifiably average.
Yes.
He is literally average Joe.
Right.
His name is
Joe. And yeah, I got that right away. He is average Joe.
And he is, when I say quantifiably average, they have tested him in all his abilities. They have charts, and he ranks in the middle of all of them. Mm-hmm. He's not stupid, but he's not smart. He is not
He works in a library, but he doesn't read any of the books.
No, he doesn't. He just sits there and watches TV. And he is unmarried, and his parents are dead, and he has no family to speak of. So they pick him purely because if something goes wrong, no one's gonna sniff around asking questions.
Right.
But they can't find the same thing in the military with a woman, which I believe. I believe that you would find smarter women in the military. Too smart for this project.
Oh, yeah. And of course, all the people who are running it are a bunch of idiots, too.
Oh, yeah. And so they depict it that the guy leading the project had to sway her pimp to get him to let her participate.
Yeah, and they go through this whole thing. And the funny bit was him going through all the slides, the photo slides.
He spent an obscene amount of time with the pimp, basically, is the joke.
He got convinced that the pimp life is for him, and he gets busted, and that's the whole thing.
He tries to become a pimp.
And again,
plot.
It's a lazy kind of a writing trope, but fine. You need something.
You need some catalysts.
Yeah.
Why are they being frozen? Why are they stuck for too long? And why do they wake up? Right. And they don't really give you much reason for them waking up other than they've been jostled about in garbage for 500 years. And then...
Well, there's an avalanche.
There's an avalanche and he wakes up.
Yep. That's all that really matters.
Yep.
But yeah, he wakes up and we have a narrator who is just telling everything. And he says, okay, this isn't really... like paid off here, but the narrator says that the people who talk, it is a mix of what he calls hillbilly, valley girl, and inner city slang, plus some various grunts.
A series of grunts.
And none of that is in this.
No, they all speak fairly coherently.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while they'll say, I like money. Or more better. They use phrases like more better.
Right. And again, you say these things without paying it off. Again, I know you're trying to make some jokes in the narration and that's cool, but if you're not actually if you're describing this world and it's not actually that, don't do that.
Yeah, you describe this world as much stupider than it actually is. Mm-hmm. And then... how can this movie be dumber? Like, let's make it dumber.
Right. And they're just like trying to scrape some kind of extra jokes to pad out the movie because, like I said, it's less than 90 minutes long. I don't know what else they could have added here except more dumb stuff.
And it's like it has moments, scenes that could have been funny. Like they are funny, but they could have milked it longer. Like he gets arrested and they take him to prison.
Right.
And his brilliant escape plan is he goes and tells the guard, I'm actually supposed to be leaving.
It's like, well, you dumbass, get in the other line.
And he just walks out of the prison.
Right.
Like that was funny. Like it's playing up the expectation of what's going to happen here.
He could have actually stayed in prison longer.
Yeah.
And played around with that a little bit.
And they, keep like getting him arrested and he keeps going back to prison. And they literally chain him to a rock and then they throw the boulder down the stairs and he goes with it.
Yeah, and that's very cartoony.
Yeah, there's some funny sight gags and things like that. The rehabilitation when they sign him up, he goes to the extreme court. the highest court in the land, the Extreme Court. And he is given 1 night of rehabilitation, which is Monday Night Raw, basically.
Well, it's a monster truck rally.
It's a monster truck rally, and he's driving a tiny shit wagon with a purple dildo strapped to the hood. And they can't figure out how to get him going because he's got a boulder chained to him. So they can't shut the door. They drop the boulder on the car. And he's still able to drive, and he still succeeds. But it's just stupid things like Beef Supreme is coming out of retirement to destroy this guy for 1 night of rehabilitation.
Right, and they keep on playing up, he's got the biggest fucking thing.
Bigger, better.
And it can't get through the door, and it collapses around him. And okay, this movie came out in 2006.
Yes.
And looking at, and I realize that this is a very small budget kind of a thing, but what else was coming out in 2006 at this time?
Many movies.
Specifically,
I don't know.
We had the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We had, I think we just got past the Matrix trilogy. We had all these Star Wars movies.
Within 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, all of these different, like, high budget, high CGI stuff came out. And this shit looked like it came out in 1995.
Yeah, it didn't look good. And I'm just going to blame that on they made this on a shoestring budget.
Yeah. But you know what? I will say this. The production design, not bad. Because, like, the backgrounds were just so filled with stuff. I paused a few times just to read some of the signage.
Yes.
That was cool.
They took time to put little, like, nuggets in if you're gonna pay attention. Like, there's an ad, a digital billboard for smoking, for cigarettes.
Yeah.
And there's something in the corner about the Surgeon General.
Yeah.
He has 1 lung, but he could still kick your sorry ass.
Yeah.
Like, if you're paying attention, there's a ton of that stuff buried in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's funny. And there's a Costco that is massive.
A super massive Costco was probably one of the funniest sight gags I've seen.
It's hours and hours of walking.
It has its own shuttle train.
Yes, within the Costco.
And I loved the shot of all of the red couches.
Yep.
For no reason, they're all kind of strewn about.
200 just like rando red couches.
Hundreds of red couches.
Why? I don't know, because
Costco's got everything.
Well, and when we meet Dax Shepard, he's watching TV on a recliner that's also a toilet.
Yep.
So he has to pull his pants up.
Every time.
Because he's too busy pooping.
All he does is just, like, eat this paste that he's, like, digging out with his fingers.
Out of, like, a gallon bucket.
Yeah, out of a bucket. Like, in eating this paste and, like, sucking on this straw thing like a gopher would.
Yeah, there's, like, a nozzle connected to the wall that says beer.
Is it beer? I didn't see that. Okay.
Something or other, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is life. You sit there, you shit in the bucket, you watch 400 things on TV.
And there's no water.
And you're a lawyer. He's a lawyer, by the way. I know I mentioned it earlier, but he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And, like, at the hospital, they have a little tablet. Like, he wakes up and he goes to the hospital because he's like, this is really weird. I don't know what's going on. I feel really weird.
What's the name of the hospital?
St. God's Hospital.
St. God's Medical Center. And then they have a
fit.
funny joke of the
is.
sign, the lettering, not having kerning is important, by the way.
Is that the word for that?
Kerning is important.
Yes, they didn't leave enough room for all the letters.
Yes.
And so
that's a funny
it goes
joke.
Downhill.
I like that.
That was funny.
Anyway.
He goes to the front desk and he's describing his symptoms, and the woman is listening, and she's just got a touch screen with little infographics like a guy with a knife in his head and a guy with a sore elbow.
A woman giving birth, like squatting, and a baby's coming out of her.
Yep. So she's looking at him and then looking at the tablet, trying to decide what button to push.
And then she presses the button where it's like, question mark above his head.
Yep. I don't know. And so she just pushes it and doesn't say a word. And like a little voice says, We don't know what's wrong with you. Go for testing. Yep. Thank you.
Yep, put this in your ear, put this in your mouth, and put this in your butt.
Wait, no. That one goes in your butt. Yeah, I saw that coming.
Uh-huh.
I saw that coming the second that went up his butt.
Again, it's all childish, stupid shit.
Absolutely.
But they do it in a way that I think works to a point. You're not coming here for high art.
No, the point is, if you all stop reading and stop learning and stop trying and you don't participate, you're just a follower or somebody who gets out of the way, as they say in the movie.
Yeah.
That you stop flexing that muscle. Your brain needs stimuli. You should be learning and firing those cylinders. Otherwise, you become complacent and dull and stupid.
Yeah.
And people who stare at their phones all day just, click and click and click.
Veg out.
They veg out.
And you need some of that sometimes.
There's a balance, though. There are people who 22 hours a day are staring at their phone doing nonsense.
Right, and because a lot of that is just the algorithm is a bitch. It is designed to keep you engaged at all times. And you have to pull yourself away.
And they're getting better at it, too.
Yeah, you have to physically pull yourself away sometimes.
But that's what's actually an interesting thing about this movie, is this was made 16 years ago.
Right, before we had smartphones.
And that's why people are finding it now and finding it relevant, because there's these predictors. Like, people have been predicting for hundreds of years that there's going to be a plateau to technology, that at a certain point, humans will slow down evolution.
Yeah, and we also have all these concepts about corporations getting more and more involved in your lives to a point where maybe they have too much power. Maybe they have too much information about you.
And we talked about that when we were doing the Oscar movies during Don't Look Up. It's another thing. Like, that is the Adam McKay interpretation of what happens when stupid people are in charge. Mm-hmm. This is the Mike Judge interpretation of what happens when stupid people are in charge.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I get the relevancy to why this movie trends, because there's a lot of stupid people saying a lot of stupid things. And I'm not going to elaborate on who I mean, because there's a lot of people that meet that definition.
Yeah. This is not a political podcast.
We're not going to open that can of worms. But suffice to say, when you have something on TV that makes you just go,
oh, you mean Fox News? Still around in 2505?
With what's the anchor's name?
Velveeta.
I'm sorry, Velveeta, yes. A shirtless buff dude and a chick in a corset doing the news.
Yep.
Throwing it to Velveeta at the Extreme Court, and Yeah,
and I also like the snapshot of where everything is in this world. Like, we've got President Camacho.
Is that how? I couldn't figure out what they were saying. Camacho.
Camacho. Yep. As in, like, Macho Man.
Yep.
Kind of a thing. We go to D.C. because he takes an aptitude test and an IQ test to find out what kind of job you're gonna have in prison. And he, of course, is, beating all the odds and, like, scoring very, very high. He's clearly the smartest person in the world. And they bring him to the White House. And it doesn't happen here, but we eventually see a shot of, the National Mall, the reflecting pool, and there's jet skis and people partying all over the place and, like, hot dog stands and, oh, Betsy.
And the Washington Monument, somewhat askew.
Slightly askew.
Still standing.
The
after
leaning
500 years.
Washington Monument.
Just slightly to the left.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they do in the reflecting pool now. Jet skis.
Jet skis. Oh, boy. And we also get the background about the Brondo, about how they just... instead of being regulated by the FDA and the FCC telling you whether or not what you're saying about your product is true or not, which isn't actually what they do, they just buy the FDA and the FCC. The corporation buys out these two agencies and says, no, Brawndo is great. It's got electrolytes.
It's what plants crave. What do they crave? Electrolytes.
Right.
Why? Because they crave it.
Again, this is the commentary about corporations having too much influence in Washington.
And mega corporations.
You could completely drill down to what they're trying to say here in a much larger sense, but that's not what this movie is about. This is not an Adam McKay joint.
No, it is commentary about corporate influence.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure we are giving much more credence to many of these items in this movie.
Oh yeah, but I don't care.
You didn't think about it that hard.
I don't care. It's a stupid movie, but I laughed. Yeah, I laughed a lot.
I did too. And of course, being in the future, he wants to get home, so Joe tries to enlist the help of his friendly neighborhood attorney that he has been assigned.
Yep.
Because he says, there's got to be a time machine, right? There's got to be a time machine.
Oh, yeah, it's been 500 years in the future. Clearly, we should have gotten into a time machine thing.
So, yeah, they go to the Costco because that's where the time machine is.
Yeah, it's only $20 billion.
And he is faced with a conundrum because he is separated from Rita. And he starts freaking out. And he's like, well, I can't leave her, but I can go. But maybe if I go to the time machine and I get to the past
and warn her to not get in the thing, but then if she's gonna not come back for me,
and he starts freaking out about a time paradox and how does time travel work, and he's not that smart.
No,
he's just an average guy.
Yeah,
so he freaks out and ends up just getting arrested
and taken to the White House.
Yep. And when we finally do get to the time machine, we find out it is a rickety old history ride.
Yep.
So it's a small world kind of a stupid thing.
But of course it is all completely inaccurate.
It's very wrong. Charlie Chaplin,
as Hitler,
head of the Third Reich, and all the dinosaur Nazis, and they were taken and they won because they had the UN. Mm-hmm. The UN, the UN.
And of course you have all the flags. Half of them are, I think, real countries. The rest of them are all brands.
I didn't even look that closely at the flags, but I'm sure you are correct. Mm-hmm. And so that was funny too. Like, the stupid guy knew the time machine wasn't really a time machine.
Yeah.
But it's also called, everything is misspelled, like machine, M-U-S-H-E-E-N.
Yeah.
Everything is spelled phonetically in this movie.
I kind of like that because, number one, it's consistent throughout the movie.
It's at least consistent, yes. But then there were things that bothered me that were inconsistent, like the fact they still have a teleprompter for the president who is reading his speech off of this technology. Mm-hmm. And yes, he is saying things like, shit's fucked. All this shit is real bad and I've got a plan. But then he gets somewhat eloquent, like, I've got a 3-point plan to solve all our problems. Who wrote this speech for him?
I would like to know.
So it's weird. That's probably the one moment that is very inconsistent with the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Is they're using technology and he is speaking eloquently.
Yeah, as eloquent as a guy like Camacho is.
Comparatively speaking, for the rest of the people and for how he normally speaks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, we get to the point where he gets put in as the Secretary of the Interior. He decides, okay, I'm going to tell you guys, I can talk to plants, and plants are telling me that they want water.
Yeah,
not
they
Brawndo.
Won't believe him any other way, and even if they could believe him, he cannot convince them because they don't listen and don't understand.
Right, and because, I don't know if this is another commentary, but because the government is telling people that Brawndo is not good for plants, their stock, which apparently the stock market is still a thing, goes to zero.
Literally zero.
And the CEO comes on the screen. And who's the CEO, Betsy?
Thomas Hayden Church.
What the fuck is he doing in this?
For one scene, as the CEO.
Yeah.
He's not even like there. He's on a television screen.
Right. And he says the computer did the auto layoff thing, and all of the employees of Brondo were laid off,
Yep.
which is half of the country.
Half of the country. So, yeah, it's just like plot device, plot device, plot device, which, you know, it moved the story forward,
Yeah.
regardless of if it made sense or not.
Speaking of moving the story forward, who shows up at the rehabilitation?
Well, that would be Beef Supreme, Trent, the hero of the day, played by none other than the lesser-known third Wilson brother.
The least known.
Because if you guys don't realize this, there's Luke, there's Owen, and there's Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wilson is also an actor. He shows up in mostly their projects. Like, I think he's shown up in some Wes Anderson stuff when he and Owen were still doing a lot of writing together.
Sure.
But yeah, he shows up. No lines. He has no lines. Did you notice he didn't speak? He just gestures.
No.
Yeah, he had no lines.
Beef Supreme, huh?
Beef Supreme. He's like pointing and shooting like flamethrowers.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Yep.
That's all he does. Sparkly pant, Beef Supreme.
And another cameo, we might as well just bring it up now. Stephen Root.
Because, of course, this is made by the guy who made Office Space.
Milton himself.
Milton himself, doing the same voice, as you pointed out, as he does in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, he's the blind guy at the radio station in Oh Brother, doing the same exact voice as he did in that.
Really, really
It's
damn
the same
close.
It's the same damn voice.
Yeah, he shows up,
The accent.
and then the Secretary of State is the guy who plays Michael Bolton.
Yeah, and
in
I
Office
didn't
Space.
even recognize him. Of course, this is almost 10 years later.
Well, not quite, but
It's
enough
damn
time.
close.
And you've never seen him in anything else, so how would you recognize him? And he looks like a schmuck here, intentionally so.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, were there any other cameos in this? I mean, I mentioned Justin Long shows up.
No, I think we covered all of the different cameos and whatnot. Again, this movie was done on the cheap, and I think, you know, Mike Judge being who he was in 2006 didn't have the same kind of pull as he once did in the 90s, because he had a really good streak of successes. Because he really got to start off with Beavis and Butthead. He made a movie about that. He did King of the Hill, and that was on the air forever. He did Office Space, big success. And he did this, and it just kind of bombed.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of went away for a while.
Like I said, he did Extract, but other than that, I don't think there's much else that I can remember in recent memory, certainly.
Do you know that there is another Beavis and Butthead movie coming out very, very soon?
No. No, I did not know that.
It's coming out on Paramount Plus.
Why?
Beavis and Butthead do space.
No!
Yep, seriously.
No! Why?
They've already done America. What is left for them to do?
Oh, no, Trent. Oh, no. All right.
I'm watching that movie. With or without you. I'm watching that movie.
We'll see. We'll see. Then again, I have seen Beavis and Butthead Do America many times.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because I never watched Beavis and Butthead, but I saw the movie.
And that's the thing. You didn't have cable. You didn't have MTV back in the day. I did. And I wasn't supposed to watch it, but I watched it anyway.
Oh, we all did. Everyone. If you all grew up in the 90s, there were a bunch of those shows. The Ren and Stimpies, the Beavis and Butthead.
If it was a cartoon thing, my parents didn't care.
The Simpsons.
Except they knew Beavis and Butthead. They weren't supposed to let me watch it.
Right. And you did it anyway.
I did
we
it
all did it anyway. Yeah, what else? We got a couple other thoughts.
Just a couple
random
other things.
moments. So, there's a lot of corporation things in this, like I said, and most of the slogans end in "fuck you." Like, everybody just kind of gives each other the finger in this movie.
Yeah.
But when we go to Costco, there's a greeter at the door, and he says, "Hi, welcome to Costco. I love you."
Hi, welcome to Costco. I love you.
And
I don't really know what that's supposed to mean.
The only thing I can figure is that because everything else is fuck you, then they're the one corporation that's going to go the opposite direction.
But you know what? Costco is actually pretty damn good. They're a good company. They treat their employees well.
And that's why they're still around in 500 years.
Along with all of the other fast food things, like Starbucks. I almost forgot to talk about Starbucks.
Except Starbucks is not really the same thing anymore.
But you can get a latte, Betsy.
That's the metaphor. That is not what you're getting.
You're probably getting one as well, but you get a little bit extra.
It's a hand job. Everything here is an adult store.
All of these stores, all of these extra restaurants.
They have like a restaurant
Costco,
where they say something about adult wings.
Right, right. All of the restaurants inside Costco are somehow adult themed.
Yep. It's all places like H&R Block has strippers.
Yep.
And things like that, where it's just everything is sex. Everything.
Yeah.
'Cause why not?
Anyway, enough about that. The ending of the movie is about as cliche as you're gonna find. He solves the problem of being able to grow crops, so I guess now they're saved?
So he got to be the vice president, and then he becomes the president, and he and Rita get married and have 3 children who are the smartest children on the planet, and his lawyer gets married to 8 women and has 32 children. Mm-hmm. So again, it's just perpetuating the problem that got us here today.
Sure.
And also, she used to be a prostitute, but he doesn't seem to know that because she is a painter. She says she's an artist. And they show her painting. The last scene in the movie is she's painting, and she's a shit artist. But she tries.
But she was also going to be the CEO of Starbucks.
She is.
Yeah.
She's going to be the CEO of Starbucks, where you can get a hand job. Because everything's about sex.
Everything is about sex.
In the future. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
All right, that's going to be the end of this one. Betsy, let's read an email, shall we?
Let's do that, Trent.
Today's email comes in from Mitch, entitled, Howdy. Hello, never seen it. I just wanted to drop a note and thank you for watching Paddington. You know, a good movie.
Yes.
I decided to watch it as a family movie night, and we were not disappointed. It is very funny, cute, and full of marmalade.
That is very true.
All accurate. Enough humor for the kids, with plenty of adult items in there as well. We were so glad to watch it that we went on and watched Paddington 2 the very next day.
Oh, fun.
You know, if kids find out that there is more of the thing that they like, they want it right away.
You gotta keep going.
Because otherwise you're going to be watching Paddington 50 times a month.
It's true. And the third one has only just been, announced.
Yeah, it just got greenlit recently, yeah. I will tell you, it is equally as delightful, and some very funny moments and bits. Some more Harry Potter characters show up, and a very funny performance from Hugh Grant.
I have heard that he is quite delightful in that movie.
I've heard the same. And I haven't really watched a whole lot of Hugh Grant movies. In fact, man, I think I've maybe only seen 1 or 2.
Probably.
So Hugh Grant is not a person that I'm that familiar with as an actor, but I understand he's just kind of Hugh Grant and everything.
Yes and no. It really, if you watch some of his early stuff, I could pick out the ones for you where he is not so Hugh Grant, it was a departure for him.
Fair enough. Back to the email. I should note that it cost us nothing to watch these films. They were both available at our local public library.
I love my local library.
When Betsy and I started dating, she had the DVD Netflix delivery because she didn't have internet in her apartment.
I did not.
Because she was never home. And when she does, she was watching DVDs that she got from Netflix and from DVDs from the library.
More from the library because I could get more faster.
Right. So yeah, people, if you do not know, your public library probably has a bunch of movies and music for free.
Yeah, just get a library card.
Yeah,
anyway, continuing.
It's cool. Anyway, he says, there are so many new titles to choose from, and guess what? They're free. Everyone needs to use this resource. You can even check out the books that go with the movie. I even rented All You Need Is Kill / Live Die Repeat / The Edge of Tomorrow. I haven't watched it yet, as I am doing the Never Seen It home game on that one, and I've gotten the intro done, but I had to get to Paddington first. Keep having a fun movie summer, from Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch.
That's a great email.
Yeah, guys. Use your library. There is a lot more there than you realize.
You're paying for it with your taxes, so
for realsies.
Yeah.
And a lot of libraries now have other extra stuff. Like you can do digital books. Like there's like logins that you can use and access those. And some libraries rent out like pots and pans and board games and all kinds of stuff. Check it out, guys. Yeah. Libraries are cool.
And depending on how of the times they are, for the most part, you can just go and see what they've got on their website.
Yeah.
All you need is a login. Just go to the place, get a library card, sign up for their thing, and you can see their entire catalog. You can check it out online, go and pick it up, drop it off. It's like it's an old video rental store. It's free.
Yeah, but it's free.
Yeah.
And you can reserve it online usually and pick it up at your convenience.
We have gone to drop off so many discs of CDs and movies and everything else over the years.
Yes, we have.
We don't do it so much anymore because, streaming has very much replaced a lot of that stuff. But you might find some rarities that you wouldn't be able to find elsewhere.
We said at the beginning of this, some of the movies that we're going to watch here, these cult classics, they're not the easiest things to find. Idiocracy is not everywhere. I would be willing to bet you can get Idiocracy from your library.
Maybe. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is just out of print. So if you even wanted it, you'd have to buy it used. We have a used book and record and CD and DVD and Blu-ray. And we have one of those stores in our town, and it's locally owned. It's not a chain. And that was my resource when I was growing up. I couldn't afford to buy a whole lot of new stuff, so I went and bought used.
Yeah, but you don't even have to buy it. Just get it for free at the library.
And
you do have to return it, though, guys. You don't get to keep it.
You don't get to keep it, but if you're savvy, you know how to copy it. Anyway, we're not trying to get in trouble here. So let's end the podcast, shall we, Betsy?
Let's do that.
If you would like to be like Mitch and email us about your thoughts about any of the movies that we have covered, it doesn't have to be a recent one. Paddington was 2-3 weeks ago. Send us your thoughts by emailing the podcast at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, neverseenit_pod on the Twitterverse. If you want, you can support the show. Click the link in the podcast description. You can throw us $1 on Anchor. All the cool kids are doing it.
All the cool kids.
All of them. And Betsy, if you don't want to be cool and throw us money, you can also support us by sharing us with your friends and rating us on iTunes and Spotify.
All the things.
All that stuff. So that is the end of the show. We will be back with another cult classic. Next time on Never Seen It, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll be with you next time.
Bye.